Today we're here to do another Call Minute, and this one is about how to read river flows. So let's get started. The first thing that we should talk about is how stream flow is measured. CFS, which stands for cubic feet per second. And this information comes from the United States Geological Survey. The discharge measurement is just one tool that scientists at the USGS use to measure the flow in our rivers. According to USGS, discharge is the volume of water moving down a stream or river per unit of time, commonly expressed in cubic feet per second. In general, the river discharge is computed by multiplying the area of water in a channel cross-section by the average velocity of the water in that cross-section. In other words, a cubic foot per second is a customary unit volumetric flow rate, which is equivalent to a volume of 1 cubic foot flowing every second. So how do you check the flows on the Kansas River before you go? So we have two links for you, and both of these links are kept on our website, which we'll talk about here in a minute. The first one is to check the river flows of the Kansas River through the USGS website. They have gauging stations all up and down the river. And then we're going to check the reservoir releases. So let's skip over to those pages. So if you were to pull up the link for the USGS website that we have linked for you here in this presentation, you can pull up this map of the state of Kansas, and it actually shows you every river that has a gauging station. So these little dots, if you go all the way down to the bottom, it shows you the explanation for the different color codes of the classes. So whether it's considered normal precipitation, above normal, much above normal. So that gives you one indication. But if you were to hover over, let's hover over the Kansas River here at DeSoto, right there. So that tells us that the discharge rate, that's the number that we're looking for. The discharge rate of the Kansas River today at DeSoto is 7,030 CFS, or cubic feet per second. So you'll get to the point where you are familiar with these numbers and know what they mean. We'll talk about these in a little more detail as they apply to paddling, but for to give you an idea in terms of flooding, the Kansas River at 7,030 CFS is relatively low on the grand scale. At flood stage, it's usually can be anywhere from 50,000 cubic feet per second to up over 100,000 cubic feet per second, which last summer it got up to ranges over 100,000 when we had all of that rain and flooding. So this gives you an idea to put it in perspective, although 7,000 CFS is still a lot of water. So you will want to check the section of the river in which you're interested in paddling and find out what those flows are so that you can determine whether or not this is a safe rate for you to be on the river. So for example, pull up here, this is the gauging station at Wamego. The river is at 3,320 cubic feet per second. So that's one of the things that you need to check on the river flows. The second thing is, what is the Corps of Engineers doing about the reservoir releases? So this is a 3-day outlook that is updated fairly regularly from the Corps of Engineers. It's pretty much updated daily. And you'll see the date up here. It says April 29th. So we know that this is current for today. What we're mostly interested in is seeing what's happening at Milford, Tuttle, Perry, and Clinton, because those 4 reservoirs dump into the mainstream of the Kansas River. So this is these lines right here. So if you read this, it shows MPP in the first column, which is the multiple purpose pool. That's the pool of elevation of that particular reservoir. Then it shows the elevation currently with the outflow, and then day 1, day 2, and day 3. So what this shows is, for example, let's look at, we'll use Perry as an example. Perry Reservoir, the multi-purpose pool is at 891.5 feet. and that is the multi-purpose pool. That's what their goal is for that reservoir. The elevation is currently 899.66, and they're outflowing with 2,000 CFS today. Tomorrow, they'll be at 3,000 CFS, and the rest of the week, on the 3-day outlook, they'll also be at 3,000 CFS. So this gives you an idea of what the flows are that are coming down the river. So if for example, there were to be a spike here where it would show 10,000 CFS on day 2, then you would know that a couple days from now, if you're planning on being on the river, that there was going to be a big spike in the discharges to the river, and so the river would rise, or in some cases it would drop if the forecast shows that the river flows are dropping. So let's go back to our PowerPoint. So here are those 2 links, and these are also provided on our website, and we'll also provide them in the comment section of the Call Minute. So here are the recommended flows for paddling under 5,000 CFS for novice paddlers. Now you remember that at DeSoto we saw that the gauge was at 7,000 CFS. So we recommend that novices are under 5,000, experienced paddlers under 8,000. So DeSoto today, that section of the river would be a good section for an experienced paddler. However, we would not recommend it for a novice, someone who is just learning how to paddle. However, if you saw up at Wamego, at that gauging station, the river was around 3,000 CFS. That would be a better section for a novice to take their first trip or 2 onto the Kansas River. A note of reference that we want to make is that at 8,000 CFS, the sandbars are mostly gone. This means there's no place to stop and rest. The banks are considered trespassing, and the rate of flow is faster and swifter. This is the Kansas River access map. I just wanted to show this to you. There are 19 different access points, 19 ways for you to get out and connect and enjoy the Kansas River. I'm going to also show you where to find this information on our website. So this is my Riverkeeper tip of the day. The best app that I have found to use to keep track of the gauges on my phone is an application that's simply called River App. You can get this application and put it on your cell phone, enter your favorite rivers, and get flows at your fingertips. You can enter this for any river that has gauging stations. So I have just about every river in the state of Kansas and in other states where I like to paddle, so I can keep track of the flows. And you'll see here that today at 4:45 p.m., the DeSoto station was at 6,960. So it was actually a little bit lower at that point. So I highly recommend that you get the River app. It's free, and you can use it because it just pulls the data from the USGS website. This is our website for Friends of the Call, kansasriver.org. Highly suggest that you go and check this out. There's a section here called Kansas River Access Map. This is a map of all of the boat ramps along the Kansas River. There are also links for you to find those websites that we just showed you. So go and check it out. Let us know what you think. And if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to us. You can reach me at riverkeeper@kansasriver.org. You can also give us a call or message us on our social media. We're here to help any way that we can help you connect to the Kansas River. Thank you.